In our previous class, we discussed about color as an element of graphic design. In today's class, we'll be discussing about something very much important and very useful in graphics, and that is texture. So texture in graphic design simply refers to how a surface is expected to feel or perceived to feel. For example, if I feel on the surface of any material on earth, like let me make use of this book as an example. When I feel on the surface, the interpretation I get could either be hard or soft or coarse whatsoever. So that feeling, that perceived feeling, is what we refer to as texture. But in graphic design, texture is used to add aestheticity and beauty to our designs. That is why you see so many designs appear to be very beautiful, appear to be very unique and enduring. So the secret behind that is simply texture. And there are rules and regulations that I observe while making use of this texture in order to produce a beautiful feeling. That's what we shall be discussing and explaining in this video. So do stay back and enjoy this video. Alright, let us talk about texture as an element of graphic design. Now, I explained what texture means in graphic design. In graphic design, texture simply refers to how a surface is expected to feel or a surface is perceived to feel. It therefore means that texture in graphic design is used to add aestheticity. It is used to add aestheticity and value to our design. So we're gonna be learning what texture is all about, because so many persons have been saying a lot of things about texture or about how important it is in graphic design. It is very important because it is a way of adding some sort of complements, the way of adding some sort of additional style to our design. Texture helps to beautify our design. Furthermore, there is need for us to know about the types of texture. We have two types of texture as highlighted in the screen. We have the image texture and the pattern texture. Now the two are different from each other but very similar. The image texture, they usually appear to be random and gotten from the combination of organic and geometric shape or colors. They are gotten from the combination of organic or geometric shape or colors. You know, previously in our class when we were talking about color and shape as an element of the graphic design, we discussed them, and we discussed the two types of shape. We said that we have the geometric and the natural shape. So now we said that these textures, the image textures, can be gotten from the combination of organic or geometric shape. Now the organic shape, as I said before, they are the natural shapes. And this image texture can be further divided into two parts, into several examples. We have the environmental texture, we have the biological texture, and the man-made texture. Now the environmental textures are textures that can be gotten from man-made materials. Let me highlight the screen so as you can see it very well. Alright, now these are examples of man-made texture, environmental textures under the image textures. They are textures that are made from images as a result of the combination of organic shapes. Now when you look at the first image, that is the image of the sky. Now you look at the other image, that is the image of a wood, cracks on the earth, and a stone. So in graphic design, some of these images can be employed and they can be used to make our design more organized, make it more beautiful, adding style and aestheticity to our design. That is what they do. Are you getting me? Alright, so looking at biological texture is another type of texture that involves texture that are gotten from biological materials. You can see the skin of a zebra, the skin of a leopard, and also the skin of the feather and the leaf. Those are examples of biological texture. Now looking at man-made texture, examples of man-made textures, you can see a seed, you can see a camouflaged, a human eyes, paint brushes. These are examples of image textures. These things can always and will always be seen in almost every design that you see on earth, and the ability for you to be able to make use of it rightly will add this beauty and aestheticity to your design. Now moving further, I told you earlier that we had two types, the pattern and the image texture. We dealt with the image texture already. Under the image texture, we have the environmental texture, we have the biological texture, and the man-made texture. Now coming over to the pattern texture. Now this type of textures are quite similar to the image texture because they are gotten as a result of organic and geometric shape together. And one striking similarities between them is that organic pattern shapes or pattern texture are manufactured. They are manufactured and they appear to be more organized. We employ them most times during branding while trying to create familiarity or repetition for a particular brand. I don't know, most times I've seen a design that have a continuous repetition, of the materials that you want to design. It may have a continuous repetition of a logo, an alphabet, or a word. That is what pattern texture. It simply has to do with creating a repetition, a texture that is gotten as a result of repetition of a material. Hope you're getting me. So that is everything that you need to know about texture, and now you'll be seeing some of the practical application of this texture in graphic design and how they are being used to make our design aesthetic. Do hold on. So these are example of texture. This is a material texture. All right, this is a pattern texture, as you can see. This is a leaf texture gotten from leaf. Okay, this is another type of leaf texture, as you can see. And lastly, this is a texture of a rocky field. So you just saw some of the example of textures, some of those visible example of textures that I highlighted on the screen just now. So now I'll be explaining how to make use of these textures in our design. I'll be using one of our favorite applications that I told you to download. That is the selar. It's a very powerful application, and I'll be using it to explain how to make use of these textures in design. All right, now you open up the application. This is how the application looks like. It helps you, actually the application can help you to auto save something that you designed before. So if I press on the cancel, it's going to cancel it. When I press on the OK, it's going to restore the image. So I'm going to press cancel so that everything will be alright and everything will be plain. This is the interface of this is the interface of the application. Okay, this is the interface. I just have to adjust that to the down a little bit. So this is a new text. When you have to design something, you have to delete the new text. Okay, yeah. All right, now this is what the interface of the application look like. Firstly, I would be teaching everything concerning graphics by the grace of God, so you just have to follow me attentively in this video. You have to follow me attentively in this channel, and do make sure you subscribe so that you get every new video that will be made on this channel. Now this is what the interface of the application look like. You can see various tools, various materials, various functions in it. It's not very hard. The moment you make use of this application as often as possible, you're gonna be acquainted with how to make use of these tools. All right, so you have to follow my step one after the other. I'm going to be slow. In as much as you are learning about texture, you will also be learning about how to make use of this application. Do not underestimate this app. It's a very powerful app. It is a very powerful app. You can use it to do almost any design on earth. I am for real. I've used it to do so many design. I've done so many design with this application, and you have to be very attentive while making use of this particular application also. All right, let's get back to business. So for me to import a background or to change the background, this background came alongside with the application, and it's not okay if we work with it. You may want to change the background over time. You may want to make use of your own design, but for the purpose of this lesson, I'm talking about texture. So let's know how texture will be important in this design. I'm going to be using texture to design, and work with me. All right, so for me to change the background or to import a background from my gallery, I'm going to press this 3 button right here. I'm going to highlight it. Now this 3 button right here, I'm going to press on that 3 button. All right, then you press on the 3. All right, just wait for me. You press on the 3 button. You see use image from gallery full screen, use image from camera and the rest. So you're just gonna have to press on the use image from gallery. All right, use image from gallery. Okay, I'm talking about this one, use image from gallery. Press on it. All right, so when you press the use image from gallery, it's going to take you to your gallery actually. So I would want to use this as my background for the design. All right, this option gives you ability to be able to resize or reshape. Now actually what I'm going to use right now, what you see that I'm using for this design is actually a texture. It's the texture of a rocky material. It is a texture of a rocky material. Yes, this is a rock that has this aesthetic feeling, this beautiful feeling, you understand, and it can be used to pass out information. Don't be surprised that the design I'm going to do right now is actually talking about something that has to do with inspiration, understand. It's textures can also be used to give this meaning, can be used to give this relevance to our designs. Hope you're getting me. So I'll put on the grid lines. You see the part that I highlighted just now, it is called the grid lines. Okay, the grid lines are lines that help you to work out. They help you to give you clear-cut boundaries on where you should place your elements in graphic design. When I click on this particular button, it's going to give me ability for me to be able to adjust them. So I'm going to adjust these ones to the left and right a little bit. Okay, bring this one down. I'm taking this one upward a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to do a basic design to explain the importance of texture in graphic design. All right, so I'm gonna hit this button to close it up. So the three icons on the various icons on the base of this application, you can see them. I'm going to use the pen to highlight them right now. I'm going to highlight them. This option, this option, this option, and this option, including this option, they are all different in function. All right, they are all different in function, but we're going to know what they are used for, and in this video some part of it will be explained, so don't be confused. I'm going to use it for some specific reasons, but don't be confused. All right, so there's after the first one we have the second highlighted. This one has to do with anything that has to do with the background. Then for the next, that looks like a benzene ring. In chemistry we call this structure a benzene ring, but it's not a benzene ring, but it's almost like a benzene ring. All right, you see this particular structure, it is used for importation of materials. Any material that was imported into the app and you want to make some adjustment on that particular application, you actually make use of this option, or you actually make use of this tool. And I told you that I want to work with shape, and we've discussed about shape as an element of graphic design, that shapes can be used in graphic design. Now let us understand how this shape can be used for this particular video. Now I'm going to highlight on the shape. All right, when I highlight on the shape, I can adjust it by using my finger to hold on it. Okay, drag to the left, drag to the right, and bring the image down. All right, but there are a lot of functions that you can do with the shape option. You can see them here. You can reduce or increase the opacity, but I'm not bothered about that right now. I'm not bothered about that. Okay, you can see a lot of them. You can see a lot of them, but in some of the videos that I'll be needing to do those things, you will see how to go through them. But you may want to go through them on your own. It is actually fun going through them. Just work out your time, check them, play with it. You see, once you play with it, you are going to see the importance of those applications, of those particular functions under the shape option. Okay, when I'm done with the adjustment, I will just have to press the Nike button, so it's gonna save. So this is it. Now I want to adjust this option down to this particular point. All right, let's get this out of place for now. Okay, good. Okay, this is what our design look like. Now this shape option is still highlighted. To unselect it, you got to just press on the screen. All right, Now I want to write something about um, tough time don't last forever. Tough times don't last forever. That's what I want to write. Yes, I just want to make a design concerning that. Tough times don't last forever. So the next thing that we'll be looking at is the test option. I'm gonna write some tests. Tough times don't last forever, and under the rule of typography, which we shall be discussing in a later video, you know how to go about your test. Now if I want to import anything that has to do with the test option for this particular application, I'll just have to press on the A button. That A button gives me ability to write my test. Okay, good. Firstly, let me write my test. I'm gonna write the capital letter T. Okay, now there's something I want to do with this T. I'm going to increase the size. I'm going to increase the size a little bit. Okay, now you saw how I increased the size. I'm not going to give it a color, and actually the main focus of this class, you can see it right here under the test option, is very highlighted right here, and I'm going to highlight it with my screen. Okay, yes, that's it. You can see the texture right there. So we're gonna be applying some textures to our test, but not right now. Just hold back. I will do that as soon as the video continues. All right, so moving on. Okay, I'm about to change the font. I have some downloaded font, but there are some fonts that came along with the application. So I have a lot of downloaded fonts in this particular application, and I'll be making use of the slime lines. So under typography, we'll be discussing about font, but for now, let's just get the font changed. All right, so this is the font I'll be making use of. I have to drag this up a little bit so that you can see what I'm working with. Okay, this is the font to be working with. Okay, then to move the text, I can use this option to move it gradually. All right, bring it down. Good. So you see that the T is between the topmost line and the intermediate line. Okay, it's not, the base has to go down a little bit. All right, so I'll be filling up this particular text with a texture. All right, now let me fill it up with the texture. Okay, now which texture are we gonna make use of right now? You can make use of, I have a variety of downloaded textures. You can use them to add beauty. It just depends on the time, the function of the design, and how you feel to make use about it. Okay, that's the background. I'm going to make use of this particular image, the leaf texture. Let me make use of it as the texture. I can just shape it. All right, so this is it. Okay, I can decide to press on it again on the texture icon, enable, and adjust to scale up. All right, so that is that. So you can see what we have here. Actually, I just feed in the text with a texture, and it is looking beautiful, and the design is not up yet. Okay, let's keep going on. So I'm gonna add something else to the design. Actually, I told you I want to write tough time as a way of adding a beauty to the design. When you want to spell tough, O-U-G-H, right? I think that's how to spell tough, right? Good. You press on the OK. You move about to your text option. Then you move to the recent. Actually, this was the font I made use of before. So I'm just gonna increase the size of it. Okay, increase the size. Let me bring it that up. Then we bring it down. Bring it down a little bit. All right. So that's that. So you can see that the design is coming up a little bit. This is the tough that I just explained. All right, so you're gonna close it up, and tough times. So you can just play around with your write-up. Okay, Now I intend doing something with this particular application. Under the rule of typography, when you have to use a script font, you start the first letter with a capital letter 12 times. Okay, I give it space so that the flow can have a little direction to move. All right, drag it down. I want to change the color to kind of a yellow gradient. Now this is a gradient. When we talk about colors, and gradient are two colors dimensions that help you to create a field between two color points. Now I can decide to change the color from this point. Just be very attentive and follow the moves. Okay, then I come to this anchor point. We call it anchor point. These 2 points are called the anchor point. Then I add the yellow color to it. All right, press OK. So that's 8 times. And I want to make use of a font called a script font. This is the orthograph. Okay, increase the size. Okay, increase the size, allow it to rest here. All right, so I'm just gonna add shadows to this particular text. So I'm actually teaching you about the text functions. Add shadows, can reduce the opacity of the shadows or increase the blur. Okay, can adjust it to the left or to the right or to the top so you can see them. So I press the 9 button. Okay, so this is what we have here. 12 times. Don't last forever. So the don't last forever, I'm just gonna write a straight text for the don't last forever. Oh, I'm very sorry about this. All right, we're back to the application. So you see that the 12th time is between the marker point. All right, so just write don't last forever, right? Okay, do not last forever. Okay, I'm just gonna write the basic fonts. Okay, I'm changing the fonts. To this. All right, I can reduce the size. Place it intermediate. Good. Can shift it up a little bit or raise it down a little bit. I'm just trying to balance it up. Now to be able to place this in a more centralized way, you come to this option. You see these options, they are used to centralize it. So adjust this to the button. This for the down button. Now I'm going to highlight some things. Now this part is to shift down. This part is to shift upward. This side is to shift the text to the right, and this part is to shift the text to the left. So those are how they make use of. All right. All right. So that's that. Sometimes do not last forever. Okay. So that's it. So I'm just basically using this this video to explain how texture can add beauty or how we make use of textures in graphic design. I can decide to change this particular shape at the base by clicking on it, and I told you whenever you want to make any adjustments to the shape, you come to the benzene ring. I call it benzene ring actually. It's called your import option. You go to your texture, import the texture simply by clicking on the texture you want to fill it with. I can decide to use this texture. I may want to use this texture, click on the knife sign. So you can see that the texture is actually filling it up and it is still beautiful, right? So that is how we make use of texture in graphic design. But to undo this option, I will just have to press the back button, the undo button. All right, I'm back to where I was before. So let me just write a few tops, a few write-up at the base. Okay, I can click on this particular text and move to the text option and press copy and edit the copied material. So let me say a motivation for everyone out. I'm just creating a content. It's not real, it's ideal. Everyone out there that needs to stay motivated. All right, so this is it. I press on the capitalize option, then bring it down. I want to change the color to black. Okay, and reduce the size. Then I want to change the orientation. These are for the text option. Then go to align. I'll give it this center alignment. You justify it to the center. You justify the shape to the center. I'll be hitting on this. I'll be hitting on that. All right. So justify to the center. You see how it's shifted it. Then you press OK. Then to centralize, you come to this option and press the immediate. All right. Good. We are good to go. So this is just a basic design explaining something. So I want to shift this to the down a little bit. I want to shift it down. All right, shift this down a little bit to speed up the space. All right, okay. Okay, we're still within range. All right, so I just have to shift it down so that it doesn't look too disorganized. So thank you very much for watching this video. You can say to save up this particular design, you just have to come to this option. This is the save button option, the place that I highlighted. Okay, you click on it, you press save as image, you leave it at the JPEG option and put ultra and save to gallery. So you wait for it to save. The moment it has saved, you move over to your gallery and you find the image there. So this is the design that we created just now. Thank you for watching and do have a nice day. So you can see how texture can be used aesthetically to improve your design. Texture can be used to fill up text, it can be used to fill up background, it can be used to fill up shape. So I hope you learned something from this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as more videos concerning the elements and the principles of graphic design continue to drop. Thank you very much. I remain your favorite tutor and content creator, praisetech Graphics. Thank you very much.